Oh, we don't count calories on a plant-based diet. Oh, okay. And get this, I can eat rice, potatoes, beans, quinoa, oats, breads, pastas. Oh, and the best part is, I can eat as much of it as I want. Are you sure? All right, everyone, so there are 3 things I want to talk to you about today that I only wish someone would have talked to me about before I lost the 60 pounds, because I have struggled my whole life to get the weight off. And when I hopped on over to an oil-free, whole food, plant-based lifestyle, there were so many things, like too many things, like a borderline embarrassing amount of things that I did wrong that stopped me from losing weight for a very long time. So today I'm gonna help you out by telling you the 3 things I wish someone would have told me. And as a side note, I don't even know why these things aren't more commonly talked about in the whole food plant-based community. Some of them almost feel almost like taboo, like we just don't talk about it, But today we're gonna talk about it, so let's get into it. All right, first things first. Calories do matter. Count them or not, they matter. And this right here is a topic that is one of those hush-hush topics within the whole food plant-based community. It's like if someone says that they decided to count calories while following this lifestyle, they are just thrown in the dungeon of all dungeons, away from the rest of the community, frowned upon. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Friends, counting calories is just another weight loss tool. So some people are going to absolutely loathe it. They're gonna hate it. They've had horrible experiences counting calories. It does not work for them. But let's not forget our friends that actually do have success counting calories. They are, mathematical people. They're type A personality. They like to see charts. They like to see numbers. They like it when things feel a little bit more organized, a little bit more calculated. And there's nothing wrong with that. And here's the other side of the calorie argument, is like what I said in the beginning of this. Count them or not, they still exist. Everybody has their own personal calorie threshold for a day. And if you go over that, then you are not going to lose weight. But on the flip side, if you get yourself into a calorie deficit, which that is always the goal, then you are going to see the weight drop. So if you're someone who has been struggling to lose weight, then it is very likely, extremely likely, that you are simply just not in a calorie deficit. The thing about calories is that it's gonna look different for everybody. So my calorie needs are not gonna be the same as your calorie needs. Someone who works out, 24/7 or lifting heavy weights or something like that is gonna look different for the sedentary person who doesn't really do all that much in terms of exercise. So everybody's needs are going to be different, but just know that calories do matter. So you can hate counting them all you want, and no one's even suggesting to count them. But it is wise to respect them because they absolutely do matter. So if you were someone like I was once upon a time that has come into a plant-based diet and been told, we don't count calories here, that's all fine and dandy because most people don't, because we don't have to when we're focusing on eating lower calorie dense foods. But please don't confuse that with that calories don't matter just because you're eating plant-based, because they absolutely do. And I wish I would have known that sooner. Okay, so the next one is pertaining specifically to weight loss. If you're struggling to get the weight off, fine-tuning it with this next thing might just be the very thing that you need to do. So that is that not all starches are equal when it comes to losing weight. So for example, potatoes. They are known as the most satiating food in the world. And of course, I don't mean when we're slapping butter and sour cream and all those higher fat foods that we don't want to be eating anyways. I'm talking about just the plain old good potato. If you take that and put it against rice, you are getting so much more bang for your buck, calorically speaking, with the potatoes, because the volume is going to be far more than a little bowl of rice. But it doesn't stop there, because the potatoes will actually keep you fuller for much longer than the rice will. So going back to the calories for a second, you're going to be eating a similar amount of calories, but you're not going to be able to stay as full as long. And after losing 60 pounds, that is the main goal every single day, is to spend your caloric bucks on foods that are gonna stretch and that are gonna carry you from one meal to the next. Because, we can drink 400 calories in 5 minutes, with a coffee or a latte or whatever it is from Starbucks or any of these places that, some of these drinks are 500-600 calories and beyond. You can drink that down in 5 seconds and you're still going to be, needing to eat very shortly after. So it's very easy to overconsume calories and not even feel like you did. And the same can be true for plant-based foods. So you want to really make sure that you're focusing on the foods that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. It's going to keep you full the longest with the same or less calories. Oh, and another little tidbit worth mentioning is even in the realm of potatoes. You can even take it one step further there. Boiled potatoes, because we're retaining all the wonderful water that is natural within those potatoes, versus air-fried French fries, because we're dehydrating the potatoes then. We're removing all of that water content. So if you compare them side by side, calories for calories, the volume is going to be more in the boiled potatoes versus those air-fried potatoes where the water has been removed. And I know that everyone goes on about potatoes being the best food, for weight loss in a whole food plant-based community, which, they are the most satiating foods, at least they've been ranked that way. But for me, I promise you, when I tell you beans were it for me, because beans kept me fuller so much longer than potatoes did for not even like a huge amount. Like we're talking, 3/4 of a cup. If I ate a cup of beans, like I was full for hours, So I will always say that beans were the thing that really did it for me and were a huge, huge contributor of my 60-pound weight loss. And then potatoes second to beans. I ate a lot of potatoes, but I will still say that beans were the #1 starch that were the most amazing starch to help me get the weight off. Okay, so this last one, oh gosh, it still sends me like... Okay, so before I jump into that very passionate next point of mine, if it's the first time that you're landing on one of my videos, I've recently lost 60 pounds. And by far the most important thing that I did was to get rid of those higher fat plant-based overt fats and replace it for low fat, high fiber foods like beans. Like I was mentioning earlier in this video, there was no other food than beans that kept me the fullest the longest. Now, the easiest way that I got these beans in every day were drinking my fiber protein shakes. I'm telling you, these flavors are amazing, and those shakes, by having one every single day, kept the hunger at bay and helped me to lose this weight. So if you're struggling to lose weight and you want to up your bean intake and give these shakes a try like I did, then right now my Shake Off the Weight ebook that has 22 different flavors in it, and by the way, I promise you cannot taste the beans at all. At any rate, it is on sale for 60% off for the next 48 hours only. So if you want to check it out, the link will be in the description box below. But for now, back to the rant. How I believed this one with all my heart and soul. It's embarrassing, people. It is embarrassing, let me tell you. Eat as much as you want. Okay, so this one really, really had me stalled out for a really long time. When you tell someone who has no, concept of hunger and fullness cues any longer in their life, has been on the dieting yo-yo train, all their life, someone who's really struggled, someone who struggles with, binging and stress eating and emotional eating, when you tell that person that as long as you eat these foods, you can eat as much of it as you want and you are going to lose weight, we take that in the most literal sense possible. Well, at least I did, and I know there's got to be a few of you out there that are like me. And I truly believed that as long as I was focusing on those starches, that I could eat as much as I wanted of them and I would still lose the weight. I clung to those words like they were gold, except that it was wrong. I struggled for years before understanding that this is not accurate. At least for me, it wasn't. I will speak from my personal experience, but I see and hear from so many of you that are also struggling because you're following the rules. You're, eating the starches. You're not including the oils or the butters or the cheeses anymore. You've removed all that stuff from your diet and you can't figure out why you're not losing weight. That was me. I have been there, and it wasn't until I realized that there is a limit to everything, even good things. There's always going to be a limit. And that goes full circle all the way back to the first point in this video, is that calories do matter. So for me, before, I would be snacking on potatoes in between the meals. If I had a big bowl of rice and I just thought, oh, that tasted really good, I want some more, but I wasn't really paying attention to my hunger and fullness cues. I was just paying attention more to how the food tasted, and I ran with that. That did not work for me at all. It did not work for me. I was completely overeating, and it kept me overweight. Eating as much as you want is a blanket statement that is just not true for everybody. Now, of course, there's other factors that we could talk about. Certain people have higher metabolisms. Like I said before, certain people are exercising more than others, but that's exactly why it's a blanket statement that just doesn't work for everyone. But when we constantly hear that within the community, it sounds like it's meant for everyone, and it most certainly is not. I would argue that it's actually the minority of people that would even apply to in the first place, but the majority of people, it doesn't work. So if you're struggling to lose weight and you really bought into this concept that you can eat as much as you want as long as you're sticking to all the right foods, please reevaluate, because that is where you could be going wrong. There's a limit to everything. Calories do matter. What starches you're filling up on all the time also play a part in it. All of these things combined are something that you can look at to get a bigger picture of what might be going on and make a few little tweaks like I did, and you might just be surprised how things finally start moving in your favor. All right, everyone, rant over. Clearly, this is a topic that I'm passionate about, and the reason for that is because those are three things that really held me back because I just didn't understand any better. And I know that there's got to be plenty of you out there that are also struggling with the same thing. So, it really brings me joy to be able to share these things from my experience to lessen the burden of yours. Anything we can do to minimize our pain along a weight loss journey, anything we can do to make that load feel lighter and easier is helpful. Because losing weight can honestly be a bit of a struggle and frustrating and all the things. But if you have the right tools, you have the right information, then you can truly give it all you got. But when you have misinformation, it can really mess things up for you. So I'm gonna leave the video here, but of course, if it's your first time checking out my channel, I would love to have you stick around, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. And don't forget about that awesome book sale. It will only be on for the next 48 hours. So please, if you're interested in grabbing a copy and checking out those recipes that help me get 60 pounds off, take advantage of the sale, because some of you are not so happy when you miss the sale, and I'm really sorry about that, but all I can say is please go check it out while it's on sale. So anyways, I will have the link posted in my description box below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next one.